Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the NHL Hockey channel. In this video we're going to be discussing a few things, including Mikael Granlund going to the Pittsburgh Penguins, a swap of bottom six forwards between the Sharks and the Bolts, and the Vegas Golden Knights help out the Penguins cap situation by taking Teddy Blueger. We'll get to all of that coming up right now. Hello and welcome to another video here at the NHL Hockey channel. I'll kick things off with the bigger of the three trades I'm going to discuss here today, and that is that the Nashville Predators have sent forward Mikael Granlund to the Pittsburgh Penguins in exchange for a 2023 second-round pick. Now, this is a pretty good deal for both sides, in my opinion. Pittsburgh's been clearing cap space the entire week. They placed Kasperi Kapanen on waivers. He was claimed by the St. Louis Blues, so that cleared $3.2 million off the cap. They sent Brock McGinn and Mark Friedman on waivers. Those two both cleared as well, so you have a little bit more cap space there. And a trade we're going to get to in a couple minutes, they traded Teddy Blueger. That gave them another $2.2 million in cap space. And they used all this cap space to go out and acquire Mikael Granlund. Now, Granlund has this year plus 2 more seasons on his deal at $5 million. Was coming off a fantastic season last year, having 11 goals and 64 points in 80 games. But this year hasn't been as good for him, only having 9 goals and 36 points in 58 games. So, fair to see his production has slipped a little bit, but a lot of the players on that national team's production did slip this year, so not too surprising. Hopefully in Pittsburgh, he can find his scoring touch from last year. He's a really good playmaker and should play good middle 6 minutes for the Penguins. I expect him to probably play either on the second or third line. Maybe he plays on line 2 with Malkin, and they just do a really good job playing together. Maybe they try and increase their depth scoring by placing him on the third line. I think there's a lot of possibilities there for Pittsburgh, so it would not be surprising if you wound up on the second or third line, in my opinion, but this is a good move. Granlund's a really good playmaker, and I think with some good players on the top 9 for Pittsburgh, he should definitely do a lot better than what that third line was producing before for Pittsburgh, which was Kapanen, Carter, and McGinn. Now, Kapanen's already gone, McGinn's in the minors, Carter's of a fourth line forward now, so Pittsburgh definitely trying to fix their bottom 6 a little bit to try and make themselves good for another playoff push. They're currently in a playoff spot, but they got a lot of work ahead of them to keep ahead of teams like Washington, Buffalo, Detroit, Ottawa, Florida. So there's a lot of teams right in the race for them, so they got to try and keep ahead of them. So getting a playmaking forward like Granlund is good, and I expect him to really help out the Penguins. I am a little bit worried about his cap hit for the next couple of seasons, and I wonder how Pittsburgh will make that work, but definitely a good move for Pittsburgh. For Nashville, we've already seen them sell off a lot of pieces and get draft capital in return, and I think this one's a really good one. Pittsburgh could miss the playoffs, so that 2023 second-round pick could be a good middle-round draft pick for this in this upcoming year's draft for Nashville. I think this is a really good deal. Granlund's a really good forward, and to get a second-round pick from him, I think is pretty good. So they're moving out some cap. They're giving them a lot more cap flexibility for the offseason, and they're getting some more draft capital in return. So I think this is a really good deal for both sides. In my opinion, I think Nashville does win this, just given the fact that they were able to get the Granlund contract off their books, and they get a second-round pick in return. I think Granlund will fit in well with the Penguins, and I think he should definitely be a good either second or third line forward for Pittsburgh. But for now, I think Nashville does win this deal, and I can't wait to see what else they do before the deadline. Over with the San Jose Sharks, they sent forward Mikael Eyssimont to the Tampa Bay Lightning in exchange for forward Vladislav Namestnikov with 50% of his contract retained, so the cap hit goes bumped down from a $2.5 million cap hit to a $1.25 million cap hit. So for the Sharks, this is just a depth addition. Namestnikov's had a good year this year. Not as good as last year when he had 30 points in 75 games, but a pretty good 15 points in 57 games so far with Tampa this year, being more of a bottom 6 forward. There is some talk that the Sharks could flip him for assets, but I think getting Namestnikov, even if they don't flip him, he's going to be a really good bottom 6 forward for the rest of the year for San Jose. And I think this is just a really good move, especially with guys like Meyer out, possibly Bonino and LeBanc. He can just slot into like a middle 6 role for the rest of the year if they don't move him, and be a good forward. So I think this is a really good pickup for San Jose. Eyssimont having himself his best season yet. He got his first taste of NHL action last year, getting his first NHL game. He did have 42 points in 58 AHL games though. This year he has had 9 points in 9 AHL games, was called up, and with the Winnipeg Jets, and then with the San Jose Sharks after they claimed him, he has put up 4 goals and 13 points in 49 games. So Eyssimont, a really good depth forward. With the Bolts lineup the way it is right now, I would not expect him to get into much game action with Tampa, but he can definitely be a good 13th, 14th forward for them and come in if there's any injuries. Also, this move frees up a little bit of cap space for Tampa, so if they were to go out and acquire maybe one more depth piece for the roster, they can do it now. So for now, I think this is a really good move for both sides. Not really going to say who's a winner here. Namestnikov gets moved to San Jose. They get a good top 9 forward who can play with them for the rest of this year, especially if they move guys like LeBanc and Bonino before the deadline. Eyssimont, a really good 13th, 14th forward, provides some more depth. Will just basically replace Namestnikov on the Tampa Bay Lightning roster, and they get some more cap flexibility in return. So, good move for both sides. And I expect Tampa and San Jose to possibly still make some moves before the deadline. And lastly here with the Vegas Golden Knights and Pittsburgh Penguins. Now in order to acquire Mikael Granlund, the Penguins had to clear a little bit more of cap space, and they were able to do that last night by sending Teddy Blueger to the Vegas Golden Knights in exchange for a 2023 4th round pick and AHL player Diliberatore. Now for the Golden Knights, this is a really good addition. They only have to give up an AHL player and a mid-level draft pick to get him, and Blueger's a really good bottom 6 forward. He showed how good he can be last year, having 28 points in 65 games. Hasn't done as good this year, only having 2 goals and 10 points in 45 games, so hasn't done as well, but I think on a Vegas Golden Knights team that could definitely use another depth scorer, I think he should do absolutely fantastic. I would put Blueger probably on like the 4th line and see how well he can do. He's a good 4th line forward. He can play on the penalty kill. He can sort of help in a lot of other situations as well. So in my opinion, this is a really good move for Vegas. It's not too much of an asking price. And again, that's a good 4th line forward. So with the additions of Barbashev and Blueger, I really do like how the Golden Knights have stacking up their forward group right now, and I think they should be a really good lethal team in the playoffs. And I like the addition of Blueger to their 4th line, and I expect them to do really good. As for the Penguins side, they cleared enough cap space to get Granlund, which I think is a really good deal. Granlund's a really good middle 6 forward who can play either on the 2nd line or 3rd line, is a really good playmaker. As for the Penguin side of things, it's not too much of a return. Diliberatore, not too much of an NHL forward, at least at this point. He's more of an AHL forward. He got into a lot of AHL games last year. He put up 20 points in 53 AHL games last year. Didn't do overly great. Then this year he put up 2 assists in 20 AHL games. Has since been demoted to the ECHL, so not at the moment a really good prospect AHL player. So I would expect him to continue to play in the minors for Pittsburgh. And then the Penguins also get some more draft capital with the 4th round pick. So I think this is a really good deal for both sides. I think Vegas does win this deal given the fact they get a really good 4th line forward. But I think that the Penguins don't make off too badly either with getting the draft capital they need to go get Granlund and getting an okay AHL forward and as well getting another draft pick. So I will let you know what you think on these 3 deals. In my opinion, I think Vegas wins the Blueger deal. I think Nashville wins the Granlund deal. And I think that there's no really winners in the Eyssimont trade, but I will let you know what you think about these trades. Does Blueger fit in really well in the Knights bottom 6? Does Granlund improve the Penguins middle 6? And what will Tampa do with the extra cap space that they've made for this move? But that's all I'm going to talk about for today. Remember to like this video and subscribe. I also do a blog, which I will leave a link to in the description below. Check that out. Tomorrow's the end-to-end hockey trade deadline live blog, so definitely check that out, as tomorrow is the trade deadline. Also check out some of my other videos, as we have been covering a lot of trades recently, and can't wait to see you guys all for the next video. See you guys soon.